Tech giants Apple and Facebook's offer to freeze the eggs of their women employees so that they can postpone motherhood and focus on their careers during crucial years has triggered a global debate. So is motherhood really a liability in the corporate world? And does technology now mean that women really can have it all? Or do offers like this one actually perpetuate sexism rather than create a level playing field?
For Diksha Dwivedi, an employee at a multinational corporation in Gurgaon, feels it will be a while before Indian women are comfortable with such future planning.
It's amazing, honestly, to think about their employees and actually taking this decision for them, in addition to whatever maternal leaves and expenses that they take care of.
Anila and Deepthi have been IT professionals with leading companies in Bangalore and Trivandrum for the past 8 years. While Anila recently decided to have a baby, Deepthi, recently married, is struggling to balance work and family. But neither feels delaying motherhood is a good idea.
Career-wise, I don't know what stops you to conceive. There is nothing. See, ultimately, at the end of the day, you will go to your house, right? At the end of the day, you will go to your family, you will live with them. Only 8 hours or 9 hours you spend in the office.
If they have given an option, that's a great thing. I would like to maybe freeze it for some future purpose. I wouldn't mind.
If women are given that option and there are many women willing to opt for that, then I think it's a good thing. All progressive companies ensure that women are able to manage their careers and their families by giving a lot of flexibility, a lot of support.
Here in India as well, an increasing number of women over the past few years have been prioritizing career over family life. The opinions are still wary of this out-of-the-box initiative by Facebook and Apple. People here are still asking whether this is the future for a career woman who wants to achieve an ideal work-life balance. With Sneha Mary Koshi in Kerala and camera person Pavan here in Gurgaon, Tanima Biswas for NDTV.
Well, joining us on this discussion tonight, Parma Roy Chaudhary, Director and Country Head Corporate Communications of Google India. Lalita Kumara Mangalam, of course, at this point, she's joining us in her other capacity as Chairperson of the National Commission for Women. Anu Acharya, who's the CEO of Map My Genome, a company that specializes in personal genomics. Dilip Cherian, co-founder Perfect Relations and a regular on our shows, also with us tonight. But Parma, let me begin with you. How difficult is it to be a wife, a parent and a successful professional at the same time? Do you think technology is the answer? And can it now really enable women to literally have it all?
Well, it's not easy. Most definitely it's not. But it can be done. Technology, of course, has provided a lot of flexibility to not only women but also men all around the world, to both people at home and at work. And along with that, there are supportive systems at work now, much more than they used to be even 10 years back. Much more supportive families and partners. And if I may say, a thick skin for women really help with this matter.
But when technology means managing motherhood, tech companies, of course, are known to be cool, unconventional working places. Google, where you work, is, of course, foremost among them. But do you see this offer from Facebook and Apple for the US employees, of course, in that light as an innovative, unconventional solution that would enable a level playing field? Or is it more complicated than that?
I think it's a step in the right direction. It neither mandates reproductive choice, nor does it mandate prioritization of career over family. It's a choice. Like work-life flexibility, like on-site childcare, it is definitely a provision that is being made available to women. Whether you take it or not, that's entirely up to you. And let me say so, if we think it's a magic wand which is going to redesign corporate culture overnight, no, it's not. We are fooling ourselves. Right. But also we have to really remember the fact that it is a choice for a very privileged few.
Right.
But I would still say overall it should be it should be seen as a step in the right direction.
I think it's very important to remember that point, that this is for a very privileged few. But let me bring in Anu Acharya at this point. You are the CEO of one of India's earliest personal genomics company. So in a sense, you straddle both these worlds of technology as well as health. And as a mother of 2 children and the CEO of your own company, how do you react to a company that says, give us your healthiest years, most productive years, and, we'll at some point of time in your life help you manage your family, or at least having a family?
So my thoughts on this are that for certain kinds of people, I think this is a great idea, right? I mean, and I'm not just saying that you just want to delay your career, but for people who, for instance, have a cancer, they're going through a cancer treatment, or for somebody who is possibly likely to have early menopause, I think they are great choices. Similarly, I think depending on who the person is, I think it might be a good choice, but one has to remember that the statistics of all of this is actually very, very small in terms of how many people actually go for it, how many actually end up coming out of it. So there are only a couple of hundred babies that have actually been produced by something like this. So it's fairly new. My own personal thoughts are, I think it's more important to be a woman-friendly workplace if you want more women to be there, rather than giving very high-end benefits like this, which not everybody can afford. So it's a choice. I think if it is a choice for a woman who workplace can give it, and she thinks it's a choice and it's not something that she's forced to do, I think it's the right thing.
Okay, Dilip Cherian, come in on this. Do you find the messaging here a bit disturbing, that motherhood perhaps is a liability, that delaying children will actually be professionally beneficial to your career? And, why not spend the same kind of money on perhaps better daycare, better maternity policies?
I think the key thing is what Paroma said. It's going to be for a small number of people. Everybody is not going to sort of decide between their ovaries and the corner office. It's not that kind of decision. It's going to be for a few people, and as was mentioned, there are people with illnesses, expectations of different kinds of things. But I think that companies that offer this are actually showing that they're going to be future oriented in terms of their thinking, because the finding in America, by the way, which is where a lot of these employees who are concerned about this are going to be, is that women are delaying having children till almost 40 now. So the fact is that you are in a technology fix issue, and I think technology companies have to show leadership by taking this issue to the next level, because if they don't do this, who's going to do it? And then it becomes kind of more widespread in society. I guess that's the messaging that they are trying to give. We believe in technology, and we think technology has a partial fix to this issue.
A partial fix, but perhaps very difficult when you try and relate it to the Indian context. Lalita Kumaramangalam, when it comes to India, the statistics are very worrying. Women make up just 24% of the Indian workforce, but even more worrying is the estimate that perhaps up to 60% of women actually give up their jobs mid-career, and that's about the time when they probably start thinking about marriage, motherhood, what have you. So, would something like this work in India, or do we need to have our own fixes entirely?
Ankita, first of all, I think that you're talking about the women in the organized labor force. The majority of people in the labor force in this country are unorganized labor, and I mean, that's a totally different issue altogether. The fact is that I think in India, this is like a double-edged sword. I probably am going to be lampooned for being politically incorrect, but this is a it is a scientific advance, and I agree that the few very, very minuscule percentage of women who have access to this sort of choice and want to make the choice, they have the right to make it. But the fact also is that you may have later on ethical considerations which could come up. This is a form of assisted reproductive technology, and women who delay childbirth and have frozen their eggs, etc., could well go in for what has been seen in India under the surrogacy program. That is, you fertilize more than one egg, and then what you do, the choice, etc. Now, this is a totally different dimension to this problem. While I agree that the technology companies are perhaps offering their employees a choice, we must understand that these companies, they may be forward looking, but ultimately the bottom line is that they want women to continue in their careers without a gap, because they feel that for them, the productivity of these women could be compromised if they have a child. Now that, I think, is very, very gender biased. And again, like I said, I may be sounding politically incorrect, but given
I think that's a very important point that you're raising.
I agree with the fact that companies need to offer women more benefits in terms of whether they want to become a mother or not. Many women are delaying motherhood without the benefit of this, this benefit that these companies are offering today.
Sure.
And that's their choice. good, bad, indifferent may be a personal opinion, but the fact is that women who go to work, when they stop work, is generally because the companies they work with don't offer them benefits like certain IT companies do, even in India, in Bangalore. Creches, flexible working hours, many other things.